Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the NBA in 2005. This is when Kobe and Shaq was no longer on the same team. Malice at the Palace, the Phoenix Suns, and Steve Nash and that questionable ass MVP. And there's one unsung thing that I feel like needs to be said about this season, because this is one of the many reasons why Allen Iverson is the GOAT, in my personal opinion. It was during the playoffs. Allen Iverson was facing the Detroit Pistons. I believe it was in the first round. He drives to the not first. He took a jump shot, and I believe Chucky Atkins, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chucky Atkins had his foot under Iverson's landing spot, and Iverson rolled his ankle super bad on Chucky Atkins' foot. He was on the ground. He was in pain. And Larry Brown, who was the coach of the Detroit Pistons, you know, him and Iverson went to the finals in 2001. Larry Brown went over there to to check on him and make sure he was good. Like, I think Larry Brown even called the timeout. He didn't want to see Iverson on the floor like that. So he called the timeout. He said, nah. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that to him. Get him off the floor. He hurt. He in pain. Because Iverson was balled up. They take him to the sideline. They icing him up. They getting ready. They icing up his shit. They taping it up real good, and they icing him up real good so they can take him to the back to go, you know, get him scanned and get looked at or whatever. He on the bench. The team do some his Iverson, the 76ers, they do something stupid and turn the ball over. And the Pistons, I think the Pistons go to get to the basket and they score and get an and one. Iverson pushed the trainers out the way, ran to the sideline, tied his shoe up real tight, and checked himself back into the game. He didn't even go to the back. He threw the ice off. He pushed the trainers out the way. He ran back there and went back. They shoot. Whoever took the free throw, shot the free throw, made it. Gave Iverson the ball. Iverson runs down the court, into traffic, into the paint. It tries to lay it up and gets fouled. This man just rolled his ankle, and he went, bro. Iverson is the GOAT. I don't care what anybody say, bro. It's deeper than what you think, bro. It's deeper than what you think, bro. Iverson is the GOAT. I got many reasons why Iverson is the GOAT, bro. That one instance right there let me know that man right there is the GOAT. I don't care if he don't win a ring. I don't care if he get bounced in the first round all the fucking time. I don't care, bro. Iverson is the GOAT, in my personal opinion. I do not care. I stand on it. I'm gonna live by it. I'm gonna die by it. I saw that man do some incredible things throughout his career, bro. It's the reason why Iverson is the GOAT. But anyways, though. Without further ado, let's get right into this.
Let's take it back to the year 2005. YouTube was launched, completely changing the way we entertain ourselves. The world was introduced to the first season of The Office and the absurdity that is Michael Scott. And MySpace was the preferred social networking site that everyone was on. Meanwhile, on the hardwood, the 2004-2005 NBA season was in the midst of a
Vince Carter going to the New Jersey Nets.
As the Shaq and Kobe dynasty crumbled before our eyes the year prior, new teams would emerge to define the decade, and new faces would emerge to cement their claim as the league's best. All the while, tensions were boiling all across the league.
Yeah, the greatest moment in NBA history.
Or forgettable climax.
I don't care what anybody say. This is
buckle up as we deep dive into this drama.
Malice at the Palace is 10 times more entertaining than the 2016 NBA Finals. There, I said it. The 2016 NBA Finals. That weak ass LeBron block and that Kyrie shot ain't got nothing on what Malice at the Palace was. That was a spectacle, my nigga. You had to be there to understand why Malice at the Palace was lit, bro.
filled season in the NBA in the year 2005, a year in review. The 2004 offseason was an impactful one that would change the course of league history. After years of internal feuding between their two biggest stars, the Los Angeles Lakers elected to choose Kobe and traded away Shaq to the Miami Heat. It was an unceremonious split between the two superstars. Kobe was accused of shipping Shaq out of LA, and the amount of vitriol, hate, disdain, and pure animosity that Shaq had for Kobe was off the charts. And boy, did he let the media know. Story after story, quote after quote, it was as if Shaq wanted the whole world to hate Kobe with him. That's why all eyes were on Christmas Day.
I ain't gonna lie, he succeeded because I was hating Kobe right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. I was not fucking with Kobe, bro. I was team Shaq all the way because Shaq was my favorite player. So I was team Shaq all the way. I ain't care. I'm riding with Shaq on this one, bro. You ain't gonna snitch on me. You ain't gonna snitch on me and fuck my relationship up with my wife, with my baby mama and shit. And fuck my relationship up because you fucked around in Colorado. Because you fucked around and got caught up in Colorado. Fuck that. Hell no. You gonna throw me under the bus? All right, nigga. I got you. But nah. I ain't gonna lie. I was team Shaq. I was team Shaq until the 81 point game. The 81 point game, I was like, okay, that nigga Kobe. I was like, hold on, that nigga Kobe. It was the 81 point game. And that one game in the playoffs where he hit that game winner on the Phoenix Suns when they went into overtime. And I think who was it? Was it Smush Parker? Smush Parker stole it and Kobe got it and hit the game winner. Yeah, I think that's what happened. That right there, I had to fall back. I say, you know what? That nigga Kobe. Hey, that nigga Kobe is him, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, gang. That nigga Kobe him, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, gang. But yeah, I was team Shaq though.
2004 in Los Angeles, probably the most anticipated Christmas Day game in NBA history. The visiting Miami Heat taking on Los Angeles, Shaq's return to Los Angeles, Kobe and Shaq's first matchup since the trade. Will Kobe and Shaq dap it up before the game? Will they go right at each other during the game? The hype was unreal, and the game's most tense moment was not during the game. It was right before tip-off when Shaq and Kobe reached each other center court, and the greeting was cold to say the least. No eye contact, no acknowledgement. Almost like two strangers passing each other up on the street as if they hadn't spent the past 8 years together winning titles and going to war together.
Facts.
It was cold-blooded and said all that needed to
this
be
was
said
a lit ass Christmas game,
lack thereof towards one another.
Hey, say what you want, but this was the greatest Christmas game of all time. 10 times better than fucking the Cavaliers versus the Warriors in 2016. That was a good game. That Cavaliers Warriors game when Kevin Durant was on the team with his first year on the Warriors in 2016. That was a good Christmas game, but it ain't got nothing on this. This one right here, this one hit different. They went to overtime. This is different, bro. This felt like an NBA Finals on Christmas, bro. This was good times, man. Good times. You just had to be there, bro. Something I hate to keep saying it like that, but dog, you really had to be there. This was the greatest Christmas NBA game to ever fucking exist, bro.
The game was a close one. Kobe missed a game-winning three-pointer, which would have been absolutely iconic. Unfortunately for LA fans, the Lakers would lose that game and many more games that season. The 2005 season is one of the most forgettable years in Kobe's career, the first without Shaq, and he isn't able to advance his team to the playoffs.
He was injured. I wish y'all would put context on this, you LeBron James dick-sucking ass nigga. Put some context on it. Kobe was injured. I think the coach was the coach who coached the I forgot his name. Was it Rudy Tomjanovich? Some shit like that. He used to coach the Houston Rockets for Hakeem Olajuwon. So he was the coach of the back-to-back for Hakeem for the Rockets back in the 90s. He took over, but then he had a heart attack. I believe he had a heart attack and he passed away or something like that. I believe that's what either he had a heart attack and passed away, or he had a heart attack and he had this and he was in critical condition and couldn't coach no more. So they had to put an interim coach in. Kobe got injured midway through the season. I think he fractured his kneecap or something like that. And he couldn't play the rest of the season. So the Lakers shut him down. They said, fuck that. The season fucked. We not finna risk losing you. We put all this money into you. You not finna go down like this. No. Recover, get better. We'll see you next season, Kobe. That's what the Lakers did. Put some context on it, bro. Stop trying to make this man seem so bad, bro. This is a straight up LeBron dick rider, bro. I see the agenda that he pushing, bro.
While the Shaq and Kobe beef was creating for some pretty compelling television, there was another rivalry that could not be ignored. The previous year's Eastern Conference Finals was a bloodbath between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. Detroit would win the series and the championship altogether, but Indiana felt they let last year slip away and that their time was now. And in an early season matchup against the championship Pistons, they wanted to prove it to themselves, to the Pistons, and to the entire league. And boy, did they. It was an absolute beatdown. Indiana led by 15 points with under a minute to go, and the game was pretty much over until the unthinkable happened. The most infamous moment in American sports history.
What happened? The problem is if Wallace is ejected, I'm not sure he'd have to walk past the bench to go. Now Artest is
yes, sir. The latest night in NBA history, bro.
Artest is in the
stands. Players would go into the stands and fight fans. Fans would come onto the court and fight players. It was a truly unbelievable scene that left the entire world in shock, and the repercussions were cataclysmic. Commissioner David Stern came down on the players with an iron fist, unlike the league had ever seen. Ron Artest would be suspended for the entire season. Steven Jackson would be suspended for 30 games. Jermaine O'Neal 15 games, and Ben Wallace 6. A host of additional suspensions were doled out, but this wasn't the worst of it. The negative reputation and publicity that these players, namely Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, and Jermaine O'Neal would face later into their careers would prove to be irreparable. Don't get me wrong, their actions were inexcusable, but it was the cup that came flying from the stands that triggered all of this. It was the fans who fought with these players also. It was the fans who made their way onto the court to confront these players. Both fans and players were at fault, but it was exclusively...
Nah, it's the fans' fault. I ain't holding the players accountable. You don't throw no fucking cup at me. You don't throw no liquid cup at me. That is the ultimate form of disrespect. I highly disagree with that. No disrespect should go unpunished. No disrespect should go unpunished. As a man, no disrespect goes unpunished. That's the case. You might as well let the nigga piss on you then. On some R. Kelly shit. If you're not gonna handle that like a man, you ain't gonna handle that like no man, then shit. Might as well kill yourself now. Shit. Fuck you mean? I ain't letting that shit slide. Fuck no. As a man, you gotta die. Either you gonna get these hands or you gonna have to die. One of the two, my nigga. You don't throw no fucking cup at me, bro. Somebody gotta get these hands. Somebody gonna have to get hurt. Even if it was the wrong guy he hit, still. You don't do no shit like that. I don't care how wrong it was. I don't care. I come from a different place in the world, bro. Where I come from, a nigga do some shit like that, you not seeing tomorrow. You chose when the sun set on your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't disrespect nobody like that, bro. That was uncalled for by the fans. They should have just let it ride out. Let the players do them. But nah, niggas had to take it too far. Niggas had a couple of drinks. Niggas had to take it too far. You know what I'm saying? So nah, it's the fans' fault. Cause Ron Artest was calm the entire time. He was calm. He was on the bench. He was on the scores table. He was calm. So I don't see nothing wrong with what Ron Artest did. To this day, I don't see anything wrong with the Indiana Pacers did. This is the one time I'm on the Indiana Pacers side. Was during this. This is the one time I'm on y'all side, Indiana. The one time I'm on y'all side is when this shit happened. Y'all deserve to beat the brakes off the Detroit fans. Fuck that. Ain't nobody finna disrespect me like that. Nah, y'all did the right thing, Indiana. Y'all did the right thing. Fuck that season. It's all about your pride at the end of the day, bro. Fuck that shit. Ain't nobody finna disrespect me as a man. You ain't finna disrespect me like that, dog. Can't let you do it, gang. You gotta fuck you up. Got to.
The players who were the ones facing the consequences, and it was the players who would be labeled as thugs, punks, and overpaid, spoiled brats. This can be debated, but in my opinion, Jermaine O'Neal's career suffered the most. Keep in mind, before this brawl, he was a top 5 power forward, firmly in the same category and breadth as Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki, and he was the undisputed leader of the Indiana Pacers,
who were the favorites
to win it all that year. His reputation morphed into that of a violent and out-of-control thug.
No,
it kept him from becoming one of the few.
Who was thinking like that, though? I could tell you at the shot of doubt, nobody in the league was thinking like that. Everybody was still saying that Jermaine O'Neal is one of them dudes, bro. It had got to a point where everybody was like, damn, Indiana ain't doing nothing with Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal need to go somewhere else, bro. He need to go somewhere else, bro, because it ain't working out in Indiana. That's what a lot of us was saying. A lot of us was saying, man, he wasting his time in Indiana, bro. He need to go somewhere else. They ain't doing nothing for him. That's what we was on back then. I ain't never in my life have any of us looked at Jermaine O'Neal as a thug. The person who suffered the most out of the Malice at the Palace was Ron Artest. He the one who suffered the most because he was the face of it all. Like Steven Jackson, Steven Jackson did it to himself, though. Steven Jackson is, I ain't gonna lie to you, Steven Jackson kind of slow. Because on one hand, he could be a peaceful brother, but in the next minute, he could be the most ignorant nigga on the face of the earth. So Steven Jackson kind of did it to himself with his reputation. But Jermaine O'Neal was a star player. He was never violent or nothing like that. You tripping, bro. We was never looking at Jermaine O'Neal like that. We was looking at Jermaine O'Neal like, damn, he wasting his talent in Indiana, bro. You need to go somewhere else. That's what we was saying. Then the injuries started happening, and then he started moving around from team to team. And, well, when Jermaine O'Neal was in his prime, he was in his prime. That's all I'm going to say.
Future faces of the league and having a Hall of Fame career. Without this brawl, his career could have mirrored that of someone like a Kevin Garnett, a strong two-way force, probably at least one championship, a defining power forward from the 2000s, and unquestionably a first ballot Hall of Famer. Unfortunately for Jermaine, his career would sunset before it even had a chance to truly take off because of that one fateful night in Detroit. Meanwhile, over in the Western Conference, teams were jockeying for position as the Lakers' stranglehold on the conference looked all but over. And one of those teams was the Houston Rockets, who upgraded their roster in a big way.
Oh yeah, I forgot T-Mac. T-Mac going to
years prior was the
T-Mac going to Houston.
As Houston traded for All-Star guard Tracy McGrady to form one half of their own guard and center dynamic duo.
The most iconic thing to happen this season: 13 points in 35 seconds. How did Tracy McGrady pull that off? To this day, we have no idea. But this is why, even though we all are in agreement that Tracy McGrady should have kept his mouth closed on that Kobe situation, none of us are willing to jump on Tracy McGrady, because at the end of the day, dog, Tracy McGrady holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, bro. This dude was that dude, bro. Like I said, bro, you had to be there to understand. Tracy McGrady was a fucking monster, bro. This nigga was a fucking monster, bro. If you can put up 13 points in 35 seconds of against the San Antonio Spurs of all teams, you different.
Between him and third-year center Yao Ming. Although the results between T-Mac and Yao failed to mirror those of Kobe and Shaq, there is one iconic moment from Houston this year that is seared in the minds of all NBA
Yes, sir.
fans. On December 9th, 2004, T-Mac and the Rockets visited their crosstown rivals, the San Antonio Spurs, in a regular season matchup. With 35 seconds to go, Houston was down 8, and San Antonio looked to be on their way to another victory. And that's when T-Mac took over. T-Mac will go on an offensive barrage by himself, dropping 3 straight three-pointers and a 4-point play. He just would not let his team lose that game. But the most incredible moment was the final play.
Kevin Brown.
Iconic, bro. Watching this shit live was goated, bro. Watching this shit live was goated, nigga. Oh my God, bro. I'll never forget that game, bro. I was watching that shit live, bro. When he hit that game winner, I jumped up and I was screaming and stuff. My mama walked up in there like, what happened? It was like, you should have saw it. Mama Tracy McGrady was going crazy. It's like, boy, you better stop yelling in my house. Sorry, mama, I won't do it no more. But bro, that shit was iconic, bro. Seeing that shit live, that shit was iconic.
To have the presence of mind down to just go for the win with a 3 is insanity. It was unbelievable in the moment and to this day. In my opinion, along with all of T-Mac's other accomplishments, this moment cements him as a top 75 player of all time.
Facts.
There aren't many players in NBA history who could score like T-Mac, and he proved it to all of us once again on this night.
He definitely should have been in the top 75.
Over in Phoenix, the Suns were also making some serious noise in a way that no one had ever seen. In a league that was filled with giants, exclusively rewarding only those teams that prioritize size, defense, and grit. Think San Antonio with big man Tim Duncan. Think Detroit with their size and defense. Think Indiana with their tenacity and grit. One team decided to flip the script on all of that.
Yep, they was ahead of their time, though.
Head coach Mike D'Antoni took a look at his Phoenix Suns team and decided they were going to run. And not just run up and down the court, but run teams out of the gym.
Yeah.
They reached a level of offensive pace that...
It's crazy, though, because they was ahead of their time, bro. Pace and space. They was ahead of their time, bro. Pace and space, running the floor. Yet this team was ahead of their time. If you put this Phoenix Suns team in today's NBA, they probably are the best adjusted team to the league, and probably even better because they had defense. They had good defense. It's just Mike D'Antoni was a terrible defensive coordinator. Mike D'Antoni was terrible with the defense, but they had good defensive. They had the capability to play defense with the players, with the personnel that they had, but Mike D'Antoni is a terrible defense guy. He's more of an offensive coordinator than a head coach, in my personal opinion. That's why I said Mike D'Antoni is probably one of the most overrated coaches to ever fucking exist. But from an offensive perspective, he is great. He was ahead of his time. But like when the league caught up to what he was doing, yeah. When the league caught up to what he was doing, there's a reason why the Houston Rockets couldn't get over the hump with James Harden and them. But like they was definitely ahead of their time, though. They was definitely looking like a team that was gonna go straight to the NBA Finals. They spaced the floor. Steve Nash could get to the bucket at any. That was another problem too. Steve Nash was too pussy, bro. Because he would always try to look to get his teammates involved instead of taking over the game, bro. Steve Nash didn't understand how fucking cold he was, bro. That's one of the main problems with Steve Nash, bro. He never understood how fucking cold he was, bro. He could have easily dropped like 40, 50, 60 a game on niggas, bro. And still could have probably got off like 12, 15 assists. He was that cold, but he always looked to get his teammates involved, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you should have been a little bit more selfish in your career, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, that's why he never got to the NBA Finals. He never trusted in himself. He kept trusting in his team. There's a reason why you the leader of the team. It's the reason why they give you the MVP, my nigga. Go out there and prove it, my nigga. What the fuck, man? Steve Nash was too pussy, man. You want to win a championship, you got to be a dog. You got to be a dog to win the championship. Can't be no kitty cat out here, man. It's the NBA, not the WNBA, my nigga, for real.
The league had never seen. They led the league in points per game by a wide margin. They led the league in three-pointers made by a wide margin. And this style of play would famously be dubbed 7 seconds or less. The old model of throwing the ball down low to a Shaq or a Tim Duncan was over and done with. They went up and down the court in a chaotic yet ironically orderly fashion as well. This style of play catapulted the Suns to the league's best record, and no one was able to figure them out. And at the head of this revolutionary style of play was point guard Steve Nash. He orchestrated everything. pushing the ball up and down the court, assisting his teammates brilliantly. Along with Magic Johnson, he is probably the best passer of the basketball that the game has ever seen. But beyond his passing, his most underrated attribute was his shooting. In addition to being a phenomenal playmaker, his shooting was what truly separated him. He was a deadly marksman, showcasing a level of efficiency from the outside that the league has never seen. He was awarded League MVP in 2005, not just for all of the passing and efficiency, but for truly changing the way the game of basketball is played today. But as great as Phoenix was, one thing remained crystal clear. Whoever came out of the Western Conference would have to go through the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan was still as dominant and as fundamental and as no-nonsense as he had been all these years. And his two running mates, point guard Tony Parker and shooting guard Manu Ginobili, were finally pitching in.
I'm not a fan of the Spurs, but before Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili was low-key one of my favorite players, but I couldn't admit it because niggas didn't fuck with the Spurs. But I ain't gonna lie, low-key, Ginobili was that nigga, bro. I hate the fact that Greg Popovich held this nigga back, bro. Greg Popovich held this nigga back, bro. Because Manu is a cold-blooded motherfucker. Bro, this could have low-key been Luka before Luka, bro. Like, low-key, that's how I feel about Manu Ginobili, bro. Manu Ginobili was low-key Luka before Luka, bro. For real, bro. He just got held back by Greg Popovich and the Spurs. And I mean, I can't say it didn't work out in his favor because he got 4 rings out of it. But at the same time, it's like, this nigga was MVP, bro. This man was an MVP, bro. That 2005 finals, bro. The finals of this year, bro. Manu Ginobili, I felt like should have been the fucking MVP of that shit, bro. In my personal opinion, bro. Manu Ginobili was fucking him, bro.
In a meaningful way. Manu especially. This season was Manu's breakout year.
Exactly.
He was named to his first All-Star team this year, and although his averages of 16 points and 4 assists per game don't jump out at you,
this nigga was cold,
his play on the
bro.
court was not just effective, but incredibly exciting. He was an amazing playmaker and had an unparalleled knack for getting to the rim. During this season, he popularized the famous Euro step. Going downhill, he would fake his defenders with incredible footwork to get to the basket, and this move is still a staple in today's game.
Shit was so cold.
You would be hard-pressed to not see one of the superior players, both past and present, break out the Euro step in one form or another. Immediately coming to mind is James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Dwayne Wade. And it was Manu who brought this to the NBA first. As the 2005 playoffs got underway, the Spurs blazed through the first 3 rounds to get to the NBA Finals. In the East, it was not that easy. The defending champion Detroit Pistons were looking to go back-to-back, but the new-look Miami Heat, led by a highly motivated Shaquille O'Neal, who was not only looking to get his 4th championship, but his first without Kobe, had other plans. Fortunately for Shaq, his new running mate was second-year guard Dwayne Wade, who was enjoying a breakout year of his own. Selected to his first All-Star team this year and already cementing himself as one of the top 2 guards in the league.
See, once again, for all you LeBron James dick riders out there, we weren't talking about LeBron. Notice how we're not talking about LeBron here. LeBron was irrelevant around this time. Dwayne Wade was that guy. I know a lot of people gonna bring up, yeah, because he had Shaq. That's kind of the point. But if you actually watch this season, you would know that Dwayne Wade took over, bro. Like, from what he did in his rookie season, upsetting the Hornets and almost eliminating and almost giving the Indiana Pacers a run for their money. This season right here, Dwayne Wade showed out, bro. This was one of them seasons where we were truly introduced to Dwayne Wade. And notice how, and where's LeBron at? You want to know where LeBron was? LeBron was sitting at home, eliminated from the NBA, from the finals. You want to know why? Because LeBron wasn't doing shit. He had improved, for sure. LeBron improved, but wasn't nobody checking for this nigga, bro. So y'all can sit up here all y'all want to. Y'all can sit up here and act like, oh, LeBron was cold, bro. LeBron was cold throughout his whole career. This man being the GOAT his whole career. Fuck out of here, bro. Wasn't even the GOAT when he first came into the league, bro. Melo was the most polished one who should have won Rookie of the Year. Dwayne Wade from 2004 to 2006 was running shit, bro. 07, LeBron finally arrived and took his team to the NBA Finals. I'll give you that year. The year after that, Kobe took over. It was Kobe's league from 2007. From 2007 to 2010, it was Kobe's league. Then around 2011, that's when LeBron kind of took over. That's when LeBron took over, I guess. We'll say he took over then. From 2011 going all the way to 2016. Yeah, no, 2015. 2015. I'm tripping. 2015. Because Curry took over after that. Curry was that nigga after that. Even when they lost to the Cavaliers, Curry was still that nigga, bro. Stop it. Stop acting like Curry wasn't that nigga. He changed the game, bro. So in my personal opinion, LeBron had like a good, 4 or 5 year run. And then, good 4-year run. And then Curry took over. Giannis had it for a little bit. Jokic had it for a little bit. And now it's the young guns now. It's the Shays, it's the Anthony Edwards, it's the Lucas. It's their time. It's their time to shine now. It's their time to shine now. It's time to see what they can do now. That's where we at now with it. It's nobody is the true face. They don't need to face the league. You just need good players. If like low key, I say right now the NBA is low key feeling like how the 2000s was. But the only problem is players keep switching teams, and that's the biggest problem. It's too many players switching teams, bro. Like if people just stay put, the NBA could be in a good place because everybody have a team that they could root for. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in the 2000s. Niggas didn't move around a lot. Niggas stayed put. Niggas just collected their checks and did the best they could for the city. And if they lost, oh well, get better. That's why the 2000s and the 90s felt so good, man, because everybody was in one place. It don't feel like that no more. Everybody keep leaving. There's no what's the word? There's no getting accustomed to a team or getting attached to, or you can't attach yourself to a team. You can't attach yourself to a player because they're always on the move. That's the biggest problem right now. If Kevin Durant would stay put, I'm telling you, Kevin Durant would get more love if he just stayed put somewhere. He want to move around. He want to be a journeyman. Out here looking like Celtic Shaq right now. I'm just saying though. But anyway, so back to the video.
The young Wade made some serious noise in these playoffs, and in particular in these Eastern Conference Finals. This included a 40-point performance in Game 2 and a 36-point performance immediately after in Game 3, putting on full display his unique combination of speed, athleticism, and fearlessness. The Heat would go up 2-1, but unfortunately for Shaq,
Dwayne Wade got injured. If Dwayne Wade never got injured, we probably would have got the Spurs versus the Miami Heat. Now, do the Heat win that series? Healthy, if they all healthy, because Shaq was still motivated. I say this was probably the last year Shaq was like truly motivated to win. So with that being said, would they have won? I don't know. But what I do know is if Dwayne Wade was healthy, the Pistons getting eliminated without question.
Shaq and the Miami Heat, Wade suffered injuries in Game 5 that limited him for the remainder of the series. Despite these injuries, this series went to its 7-game climax, and Detroit would emerge victorious, punching their ticket to their second straight NBA Finals to face the San Antonio Spurs. And this NBA Finals series was a bloodbath. The hard-nosed, grind-you-down Detroit defense against a polished...
I'm going to say it like this. This is a top 5 NBA Finals. I don't care what anybody say. the 2005 NBA Finals against the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons. This is a top 5 finals. I don't care what anybody says. This is a great finals right here. I watched this from start to finish. This was fun. Niggas like, man, ain't nobody trying to watch no Spurs. And nigga, Manu Ginobili, that's why I said, bro, Manu Ginobili should have won finals MVP, bro. Manu Ginobili was fucking him. Manu Ginobili was fucking him, bro. Tim Duncan was doing this thing too, but Manu Ginobili was that nigga in this finals, bro. They was going crazy, bro. I love this series, bro. This is one of my favorite NBA finals I've ever witnessed, bro. 10 times better than the 2016 NBA finals, that rigged ass 3-1 lead NBA finals.
No nonsense, fundamental style of play from San Antonio. The first 4 games saw both San Antonio and Detroit defend home court, setting up for a pivotal Game 5 in Detroit. And Game 5 was a seesaw battle to say the least. Tim Duncan was masterful on both sides of the ball, while Chauncey Billups seemed to hit every clutch jumper.
Yep, Chauncey Billups was a monster in this series.
Was none other than Robert Horry, a pivotal cog in the Lakers' three-peat dynasty that terrorized these same San Antonio Spurs. With the Spurs only up by 1 as the fourth quarter got underway, Robert Horry would score a total of 21 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. And with San Antonio down by 2 with 9 seconds left in overtime,
all Rasheed Wallace had to do was stay on Robert Horry. He fell for the bait. That's all Rasheed Wallace had to do. He fell for the bait. Boy, it was over after this. It was low-key over after this.
After this historic finals performance from Horry in Game 5, this series would reach its 7-game climax as well, and San Antonio will be crowned champions in the end. With this San Antonio championship, Tim Duncan firmly cemented himself as the greatest power forward of all time, and no one has come close to stealing his throne. In addition, this would become San Antonio's 3rd championship in 7 years, and with all the talk of the Lakers' stranglehold on the new millennium, San Antonio had become a legitimate challenger to the Lakers' dynasty, and quite possibly even more dominant now that the Shaq and Kobe Lakers were no more. As the supreme dynasty of the 2000s, what do you think? Which dynasty was more dominant, the Shaq-Kobe Lakers or the Duncan-led Spurs?
The Shaq and Kobe Lakers, they three-peated. Fuck you mean? These niggas don't repeat. They get bounced they'll win one game and then they'll get bounced the next year. Nah, I can't reward them for that. They a dynasty for sure, but I'm never gonna put them above the Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, bro. They went to consecutive finals. These niggas go to the finals like every now and again. Nah, I can't reward you for that. But anyways, though, that's just gonna about do it for this one. 2005, you know what? 2005 is top 3. 2005 is top 3. 2005 is top 3. Too many things happening this year. I forgot how ago that 2005 was. But 2006, though, we on to the best one yet. 2006. I say 2006 is probably the second best NBA season to ever fucking exist. It's 2001, 2006. I'm gonna put 2005 at number 3. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, deuces.